Caitlin Clark shoots 93% from the free throw line this season. Saturday night in Brooklyn, she never got there once. New York went 40 times. Breanna Stewart alone took more free throws than the entire Indiana roster in Cathy Engelbert's own tournament. The Fever led by 12. They lost by 8. And tonight they have to get up and play again in Washington, while the commissioner says nothing at all. Indiana didn't lose this game at the rim. They lost it at the stripe. 15 feet of free hardwood, one whistle at a time. Picture the third quarter. 57-45 Fever. 3.5 minutes left in the period. A 12-point road lead over a Liberty team that had won 3 straight. New York closed that quarter on a 10-0 run, and the last point of it came on a free throw awarded after Aaliyah Boston picked up a technical as the period ended. The fourth was worse. New York trailed 66-62 midway through, then ripped off a 19-4 run to take the game. Here's the part that matters. Stewart shot 11 of 12 from the line during that burst alone. Her 2 free throws, with 336 left, put New York ahead for good. New York shot 36% from the field, 2 of 18 from 3 season lows in both. They won anyway, and they did all of it without Sabrina Ionescu. Back soreness, 1 game played all season. A short-handed Liberty team, shooting the worst it shot all year, and the line carried them home. Here's what the Liberty actually won at the line Saturday, and what it's about to cost Indiana in Washington. Look at what New York did to Caitlin Clark. She started cold, 0 for 5 in the first quarter. No field goal until 3 minutes into the second. She kept working anyway. 10 points, 9 rebounds. No, flip that. 9 assists, 7 rebounds. 1 shot away from flirting with a triple-double and 5 fouls. That 5th foul put her on the bench while the lead bled out. By the time she checked back in, 4 minutes left, Stewart was at the line, putting New York ahead. Then the Liberty went straight at her. Their rookie guard, Pauline Iyer, said it out loud to reporters afterward. They knew Caitlin had 5 fouls, so they kept attacking, kept being aggressive. No code words, no apology. The scouting report was, she can't touch anyone, so drive at her until something falls. Stewart did the same thing to the front court, baiting Boston and the Indiana bigs into contact on every catch. Boston finished with 5 fouls of her own, plus the technical. And look, New York did nothing wrong here. Smart teams' attack with the whistle is weakened. The real question is how the whistle got there in the first place. One team got hunted Saturday night. It wasn't New York. Now sit with the numbers, because they don't need any help from me. 40 free throw attempts for New York, 15 for Indiana, 27 fouls called on the Fever, 19 on the Liberty. Stewart went 18 of 21, a career high in makes, and her 21 attempts by herself beat what the entire Indiana roster was given all night. And Caitlin Clark, the 93% shooter, the player who lives downhill with defenders draped on her, attempted 0. Not a bad night at the line. No line at all. 10 points, 9 assists, 5 fouls against her, and not 1 trip the other way. You can argue any single call. You can't argue a 25 attempt gap. Teams don't coach their way around that, and they don't shoot their way around it either. Not when the other side's offense is 2 of 18 from deep and still walking off with a win. The question isn't whether the whistles decided Saturday. The question is who's responsible for the whistles. Now, here's where it gets uncomfortable for Cathy Engelbert. This wasn't a random Saturday in June. This was a Commissioner Cup game, the in-season tournament Engelbert's office created in 2021, with a $500,000 prize pool attached, and a final coming June 30th. Her event, her showcase, her name functionally on the trophy. And Indiana isn't a tourist in this tournament. The Fever are the defending Commissioner Cup champions. They won Engelbert's trophy last summer, and they did it during the stretch when Clark was hurt, which made it the franchise's proof that the future was real. Engelbert has called Clark the most popular athlete in America. She's credited her with bringing tens of millions of new viewers to this league. Those are her words on the record. So, hold both facts at once. The player, the commissioner, built her growth story around played 40 minutes of the commissioner's own tournament and was never sent to the free throw line a single time. This isn't a story about one bad whistle. It's a story about whose tournament it happened in. May 24th, 2025, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Same opponent, the New York Liberty. The Fever lose 90-88 on a final play, where Clark gets stripped and no whistle comes. Stephanie White stood at the podium that night and didn't flinch. She called what was happening to her team pretty egregious. She pointed at a -31 free throw discrepancy across the previous stretch of games. She said Indiana wasn't settling for jumpers. They were attacking the rim and getting nothing for it. She used the word disrespect. That was 13 months ago. Different roster around Clark. Different season, same opponent, same building blocks. And Saturday night, the gap was 40-15. Pull the two box scores up side by side. The names change. The gap doesn't. One data point is a bad night. 2 seasons of the same data point against the same franchise in games this loud. That's a pattern someone in the league office is paid to notice. The officials answer to the league. The league answers to Engelbert. The chain of accountability is short, and it ends at her desk, which makes Saturday's press conference the strangest part of the whole night. The 2025 version of Stephanie White spent her post-game torching the officiating on the record. The 2026 version stood in Brooklyn, looked at a 40-5 sheet, and talked about rotations. Her words: Indiana didn't help Clark out, didn't plug the gaps, needed better team defensive positioning, technique, scheme, anything but the whistle. Clark held the same line. No complaints about the officials. Nothing quotable for the league office to read on Sunday morning. Maybe that's discipline. Maybe it's a team that knows public criticism of officiating comes with a price tag in this league and decided 5-5 was a bad time to pay it. Either way, the loudest voices in Indiana's locker room chose silence on the one number everyone watching could see. Somebody should say it. They can't. So, we will step back and look at Caitlin Clark's week. Thursday, she played sick, visibly sick, and put up 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists to beat Atlanta by 12. By Friday, she was standing at a practice podium answering questions about a column calling her team's job the hardest in basketball. A column a member of her own front office had just amplified. Reporters asked how she was holding up. Her answer smiling. What do you mean? I'm great. Saturday, she walked into Brooklyn carrying all of that. Got blitzed with 5 fouls. Watched the other team openly target her because of them and never shot a free throw. 3 nights, 3 different ways for one player to stand alone and the fans see it. Within hours of the final buzzer, the posts were flying. One fan wrote, "There's no point in the Fever even keeping her if this is the system she's trapped in." That's not analysis. That's heartbreak typing. Now, to be fair to New York, because this audience deserves the whole sheet, Indiana went 9 of 15 at its own line, 60%. They turned it over 15 times to the Liberty's 11. Kelsey Mitchell needed 21 shots for her 21 points. Boston shot 6 of 15 and earned that technical with her own words. And Stewart didn't steal 40 points in the paint. New York bullied its way to them possession after possession against a front court in foul trouble. A cleaner Fever team probably survived Saturday, even with a whistle gap. Grant every word of that. And the 25 attempt difference is still sitting there unexplained in the commissioner's own tournament against the same opponent White called out 13 months ago. Good teams overcome bad nights. No team is built to overcome a pattern. So here's where the Fever stand. 5-5. Tonight in Washington, 7 o'clock. 1 day's rest with a cup defense still alive, and a final on June 30th. That suddenly looks a lot further away than it did at halftime in Brooklyn. The road is where this season keeps going sideways, too. Portland by 16, Golden State by 2 now. Brooklyn. Washington should be winnable. So was a 12-point lead. Here's what would change everything. One sentence from the league office, an acknowledgement, review. Anything that says the most watched player in the sport gets the same whistle as everyone else in the commissioner's own event. History says that sentence isn't coming. Engelbert's office went quiet after May of 2025, and it was quiet again Sunday morning. The Fever have until 7 o'clock tonight. The locker room is watching. The fans who packed Barclays to see Clark are watching. And the commissioner, the one whose name is on this tournament, whose growth story runs through number 22, hasn't said a